Hello, everyone. Welcome to Francois Canvas. Today we have a special edition, and we're going to have a discussion on the journey and surviving the obstacles of entrepreneurship. And we have a special guest, and I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
So hi everyone, my name is Rochelle, and I am partners with Alan here in life and in our journey to being entrepreneurs. And a little bit about myself. I am a transformational and spiritual life coach. I am a nurse educator, nurse leader, and I'm also a Reiki practitioner. For now, a nurse over about 14, 15 years. And I got into the spiritual side a little bit after I got into nursing. So I've been in spirituality for a long time as well. And we're here really to tell you the struggles of overcoming obstacles of being an entrepreneur. And why we decided to do this episode is because most of us, I know for us at least, we go on and we take messages, we read messages, we see messages from all different types of entrepreneurs, and they tell us their stories of success and pretty much how they got there, and they motivate us all to move forward being entrepreneurs. And to me, I said, man, it would be really cool if I had an entrepreneur who is going through the process with me. And I do have people who are going through it with me, but sometimes I want to go and see, hey, is there a podcast out there that just shows everybody's struggles and vulnerabilities of being an entrepreneur? And just the other day, Alan and I, mainly Alan, had an incident while he was out there trying to promote his business. And I'm going to let him take the stage so he can tell you this story, what happened, and I will come in after because I came in after coming into a situation, and we'll kind of pick that apart and how it made us feel as entrepreneurs. So, Alan?
Well, I'll give you the short version. Basically, one day we decided to just pick up, invite some friends with kids, because it was mainly about the kids that day and art. And we decided to go out somewhere to set up a table. And long story short, a couple of golf carts came hovering. And the first thing I could tell by his energy, he was already on whatever, I don't know what state of mind he was on, but his approach was very negative. His question was, what are you selling? I'm like, okay. I was like, I'm not here selling, sir. I'm just out here to, I got some kids coming. We're going to set up a table and we're going to paint. And that's pretty much the basis of it. His mannerism was very authoritative, because if somebody outside looking in, you would have thought he was some kind of detective and, policing the area. But, his approach was very negative. He, I don't know what assumption he was making in his mind about what I was doing. Well, yeah, his assumption was that I was selling something. So that's pretty much the basis of the story. So
of course, now I walk over with our daughter sometime later, and the first thing I notice is I hear him chattering to somebody about somebody asking him if he's selling something. So, now I'm already on alert. What's going on here? And me, I like to pick apart a situation, especially when the situation doesn't make any sense. So I come over, and Alan is not even unpacked yet. So I don't know what he could possibly be selling, except maybe bags of what you would think is garbage, because everything was still tied up and on the dolly. And then I noticed that there's dried paint on the floor and on some tables. So another sign that people actually go to this place to paint. And then Alan tells me what happens, that somebody approached him for selling something. And, to me, of course, being very observant, okay, I'm looking around, what number do you have out here that somebody called in because somebody called in and made a complaint.
Yeah, that was funny.
That's what it was.
That's what he said to me.
The person made a complaint, and I'm
somebody
like,
just called in and complained about you. I'm like, wow, I just got here.
Exactly.
How did they get the number to reach you?
Yeah, so
it was really him complaining.
Yeah, so I'm looking around, and I'm like, where's the number to call and make a complaint? We're in the middle of West Bubblefuck somewhere, right? And there are no numbers besides like the one in your head, because I can be very sarcastic in my head, and I don't do it out loud, and I wouldn't do it to the person, but I'm like, what is it, 1-800 be a jackass? You didn't have to do that day. He was just there to paint, and like I said, paint is everywhere. People go there to paint.
And art is not illegal.
Art is not illegal, and people are out there doing multiple different things. So it was just annoying, honestly, to me to see that happen, and I just pushed it aside because I've been doing a lot of work on myself. I pushed it aside. I took our daughter to come back, and with her friends to come back when they're a little bit more tired to come and paint. Now when I'm coming back over to paint, I noticed that one of the golf carts with a man in it is sitting right behind watching Alan. So I set up the kids, and I find it kind of annoying because it's just like, what? We need a babysitter now? It just doesn't make sense. He's just there to paint, and if anybody comes along, because this is his business, he decided to take his tutorials out into the world and paint to the world for everyone to see. If you're sitting there and you're being like this negative presence and more like a babysitter, so it's just kind of annoying. And when it comes to being an entrepreneur, it's already hard enough to kind of get out there, like put yourself out there, those first golden steps that you need to take to get out there. So it can easily turn into something that's just like, let's probably not try this again, and let's drop this off. But I'm more concerned about Alan now, and what I wanted to ask him is like, how did that whole situation as a person and being an entrepreneur, like how did that make you feel?
I'm gonna be honest. Initially, it wanted to bring out the lowest aspect of me, and what do I mean by that? Like maybe the violent side, maybe the confrontational side. That was the first thing that surfaced in my mind, and so. But since you asked me, that's initially what I felt. I felt like, oh my God, this guy is really trying to take me to a place where I don't want to be. I don't want to be in that negative realm where I'm confrontational, where I want to fight, where I want to do this. I really wanted to jump at his throat. But when I came to my senses, I realized, I had to take a step back and say to myself, first of all, I didn't come out here for that. And two, he served as a reminder of some of the things you're going to be encountering, being an entrepreneur. So, that's basically what I have to say. The main point is, initially, he really got me upset. But the fact that we've been working on ourselves, we've been trying to build this business, and I'm sure this is not the first live you guys seen from me. So it's like all of a sudden, all of that overpowered that one incident, because I knew he represent a number of negative energy that you're going to be encountering down this journey of being an entrepreneur. So yeah, I'll leave it as that,
And my next question to you is, how did it change you as an entrepreneur?
Well, since you want to use the word change, if it changed me, it actually had a more positive impact on me than a negative one. Once again, I'll answer the question this way. It changed my perspective on myself, because throughout the whole incident, I was analyzing myself. The 10 years ago me, it would have been a sour situation. But the present me, I don't know. I'm developing this ability now to rise myself quicker out of negative incident. It changed my perspective. It let me know that, because I knew walking away from that incident, that guy was gonna represent a symbol of, once again, some of the negatives you're gonna encounter down this journey of being an entrepreneur. So I hope I answered the question. It changed if it changed me, it made me a better person at that moment. Because once again, you put 100 people in that same situation, it would have had 100 different outcomes. But I walked away saying that, you know what? Come on. We're gonna be running into that like left and right. He's just a reminder of there's a group out there that's out to get in your way. I'll leave it as that.
So yeah, I feel that, and along with Alan, like I can see him going through these things, right? And in that moment, same thing. The 10 years ago me would have been a different person. But this time I just said, you know what? I'm going to pretend that this person isn't there behind us. Like he was there behind us. But I said, I'm going to pretend that he's just not there behind us. And I'm going to enjoy this moment with my daughter and her friends. I'm going to enjoy this moment here with Alan and helping him promote his business, because at the end of the day, like that triggering that comes up in me, that feeling of, you don't want us to get ahead, or you don't want you're just there because you think we're doing something bad, or even more Alan's doing something bad, is just like, I'm not going to give into that, because I know Alan is there to teach art, and he's there to bring art to the world. And for me personally, in my business is, because I'm a starting entrepreneur too, as a life coach, these are the things, these are obstacles that I'm going to have to face. I didn't necessarily have to face it there, but it really made me think about things that we want. And all of us who want to be entrepreneurs, and even if you're not an entrepreneur and you're watching this is for you too. We all grow up, and I feel like most of us probably have ended up in places in life, be it your personal life, be it your love life, be it your marriage, be it your career. Most of us have ended up there because somebody influenced us to really go down that road. And which is why most of us who are here being entrepreneurs is because, like, we've always wanted, or we woke up and we want to do something different. And I had to really think about this want. And, this guy being there kind of just brought me back to the past of how, like, you have parents, like me being a nurse. Oh, go to school, be a nurse. It makes great money. Why would you even want to be an entrepreneur when you can just sit in your career as a nurse and make money and help people the same way? And it's like, I'm ready to now step out.
Sit in the coffin chair.
Yeah. Or I'm ready to be in that role, but also step out of that role and be a life coach for many other reasons, where we can discuss that on a whole other video of why I decided to take those bold steps. But I don't want to do something because somebody else is there, or I don't want to continue to do something like, let's just shut down this business and go back to what we were doing because obviously it's just too hard. No, it's like the better method was looking at it and saying, like, I enjoy helping people. I enjoy seeing people smile. I enjoy seeing people think their way or move their way into more clear situations and more clarity in life in general. Those are the things that I enjoy, and those are the reasons that I'm pushing down that path. So for you guys out there who are either entrepreneurs or you're not, and you have this deep want to do something, and your whole body and your soul is telling you, hey, I want to do this, and an obstacle comes in your way, like, what would you do? How would you sit with that? How would you lean into that? would you want to just shut down and go back to where you are? Would you want to be stronger than that? Like, I know I wanted to be stronger than that. And I would want you guys all who are trying to make this journey to be a whole lot stronger than that. And like I said, not be the 10-year-ago me, or Alan not be the 10-year-ago him, and push forward. Like, what do we really want? And let that whole situation just settle and settle and settle until, honestly, the guy just ended up going away. Like, we just continued to have our fun and do our thing, and he went his way.
Yeah,
like, it's like our positive energy just went over him, and maybe it made him feel differently about the situation. I don't know if it made him think and say, hey, like, what am I really doing here? I don't know if he just decided to go because he didn't want to be there anymore. Maybe he saw that there was no ill will in anything that we were really doing there. So, yeah.
One thing I would like to say before we continue, let's analyze his position. I'm pretty sure that
the golf cart
didn't belong. Just put it this way. He had a job, and we were working on our career. So there's a big difference, which means he's disposable. Me, I'm not going to I'm not going to fire myself. And I'm only going to continue to grow, and hopefully, one day, I will, reap the, what's that saying? The fruit of my labor one day I shall enjoy that. So he had a job, and I was working on my career. Come on, let's analyze the two perspectives. Go ahead.
And on that note, Alan, that's a lot of the reason why we're here, right? We've all been, or at least most of us have been in that situation where we're just seen as disposable employees, and the minute you try to rise out of that role, which is what we're doing, we're trying to rise out of that role. That's what you guys are doing. You're trying to rise out of that role, or you're trying to rise into a role. That's what you're doing. And no matter what no matter what black cloud tries to come above you, just remember why you're going into that role in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And tap it down and think about it. Think about why you're there, what you want, what do you want in life, what is your optimal you, who do you want to be, and just let it go. That growth of energy in you will fester, and it will fester to the point that all of that stuff is just not there anymore.
Yeah.
And that's part of the message we wanted to share, like, as entrepreneurs, because we're not fully there yet. We're trying to get our way up there, but like, we want to be that inspiration for everyone else out there to not only see the people at the top talking about what they've done, and that's great. I love that they've done it, but I want to be around with more of you to share our stories and how can we overcome it and just keep rising.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think, to me, that's how we can all move forward as entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
I'm liking his painting.
Yeah. But it's about moving forward. She just said something key. We're still in the process. Life in general, as a whole, is a process. It's a journey, and it's about the journey. It's not like we're sitting around looking forward to sitting on that gold chair with the gold cups. If that comes, it comes, and stuff like that comes in many forms. So it's your attitude in the journey. I think that's what matters, because if we go back to that story, once again, if I was in my old state of mind, I probably would have been in jail that day. But because our energy was so sturdy and so firm, after a while, he just faded away in the background. So
until he actually just went away.
Until he actually faded away. He didn't exist anymore.
No. So that's our story. Like, share, comment, because we'd love to come on again and tackle some more things that we go through as not only, like I said, entrepreneurs, but just in general in life and anything we're doing. what would you like to talk about that can be something you want some insight and motivation towards overcoming?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the screen now. Let me give shouts to Mar Y Pretty 12. Thank you.
Why Pretty 12?
Thank you for joining us, Alexandra, and Roots Life Music, and anybody else who's on the platform. Thank you for joining us. And pretty much the message was, obstacles is going to come in many different forms, and the most dangerous obstacle is yourself. But that's for a later podcast. But obstacles come in many forms, and the reason why we wanted to magnify that little incident is to show you that whatever you want to do in life, there's a natural opposition to it. So once you're aware of that, that's half the solution. I mean, that's pretty much what I want to say about it,
And then you overcome it. So okay, guys, comment down below.
Yeah,
we'll
leave a comment, Francois Canvas. Thank you for. Today, as you could tell, I'm still working on a piece. It wasn't really about this. It was really about the message. I'll post the end result later, and thank you guys for joining us. All right, peace and love. Take care.